Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the Productive Agent Podcast. My name is Tony Ruiz. I'm the founder and host of the Productive Agent Podcast and Facebook group. Today, I'm joined by one of the best people you will ever meet. If you haven't met him in person, you need to get a hold of him. But Pat Hayes has been in the real estate business for 10 years. The past 7, he's been with eXp here in San Antonio, and he is an alpha agent influencer, part of a team disruptor, and he's a woo man. He is the life of the party, and his positive energy is contagious. He is $1 million producer in revenue share and was named the 2017 Recruiter of the Year. He has personally sponsored 65 agents, which has led to over 5,200 agents in his organization, spanning 49 states, 5 Canadian provinces, and 16 countries. He is truly a life changer. Welcome to the show, Pat Hayes.
Hey, what's happening, Tony? Thanks so much for having me, man. Doing great, man. And hey, let's crush it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So how's 2023 treating you so far?
Man, I can't believe it's already February. January was amazing. It was a lot of fun. Man, we're off to a great start this year. It's going to be an amazing year, and February is getting even better, man. So it's off to a great start.
Definitely, very cool, man. So real quick before we get into it, today's show is going to be mainly talking about Pat's story. You know, how he got started in real estate, why he chose eXp, and talking a little bit about the model. And then Thursday, we're going to have Pat on our live training on Zoom at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll go a little bit deeper about Model Explain and do a Q&A session. So you don't want to miss that. You can find that Zoom link in our private Facebook group called The Productive Agent. Just type that in. We'll accept you into our private group. You could get the Zoom link and join us on Thursday for that live training. So let's get into it, man. Tell us a little bit about who is Pat Hayes? What's Pat's story? Where are you from? Where did you go to school? What did you do before real estate?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So from San Antonio, going on my 10th year in real estate. Been at eXp for 7 years. Before that was with a small boutique independent brokerage firm. But before that, taking it all the way back, I obviously went to a school in San Antonio, went to elementary school, middle school, high school in San Antonio, and then went off to college at Texas State University in San Marcos. Was a Bobcat, eat 'em up cats, and did the whole traditional go make mom and dad happy and go get that college degree and go into corporate America. And so that's what I did. I ended up getting a degree from Texas State in agricultural business with a minor in horticulture business, and really did nothing with it. Went into medical sales right out of college, and was in medical sales in San Antonio for about 6 years. Grinded, had a lot of fun, was with a few great companies, and got sick and tired of corporate America. And I've always wanted to, be the man and not work for the man. And so I actually left corporate America in 2010, bought a senior home care franchise, which my dad was the CFO of the whole entire organization in San Antonio. Bought that as an investment in 2010, grew it until 2013, took it from $250,000 in annual revenue to $1.3 million, ended up selling it and then getting into real estate. But in between starting my real estate career in 2013, I actually was a private investor for a digital media marketing startup company called the Yokel Network. And within about 3 months, I had lost my whole entire investment of over $300,000. So I had to make real estate work. And I didn't want to go back to corporate America. So I grinded hard, man. My first full year in real estate was 2014 at that independent brokerage firm. I did about $3.2 million in production, really found my passion. Second year, I started a team, started the Pat Hayes Group, hired a few buyer's agents in that second year, 2015. I did $12.5 million in production as a team leader and was on an up-and-comers list in San Antonio. And then I ended up finding eXp Realty December of 2015, whenever I got that life-changing phone call from Scott Lewis. And the rest is history. It's been an amazing ride over at eXp the last 7 years.
Wow, that's really cool. A lot of stuff I didn't know about you. And the funny thing is we have a connection there. I went to MacArthur, but I taught at Churchill for 11 years, I think it was. So we have that WC connection there. And then I also went to Texas State. I went for music education. I love the sales. You've been in sales kind of really your whole life since you started. and then you did all that. So talk to me about, and this is jumping ahead a little bit, but that's great. Talk to me a little bit about that first year. You did 3.2 million. You were grinding. What did that look like day to day, week to week? How'd you get your business off the ground?
Yeah, man, it's a great story, and I love sharing the success story with a lot of agents because I didn't have a lot of money because I had just lost that full investment of $300,000, and I didn't have a big marketing budget coming into my real estate career and starting my business with say a few $1,000s a month to throw towards Zillow or Realtor.com. To start acquiring leads. And so what I did the hard way. I started doing open houses 7 days a week. Literally, I know it's crazy, right? A lot of agents are, what? 7 days a week? Well, how do you do that? Well, what I did was I went around San Antonio and I found a brand new community. At the time was a Ryland home community. I knocked on the door of the model home. I introduced myself to the sales agent who is now an eXp agent, Tim Hinojosa. He was actually the sales rep there, sales associate there for the builder. And I said, hey, man, I'm a hungry realtor. I'm looking to grow. I've got all the time in the world, and I'm here to help you market your inventory houses in your model homes, and I'll do open houses for you 7 days a week. He kind of laughed at me and almost shut the door. I said, no, for real. I've got my signs in the back of my truck. I'm ready to go. And so he said, man, hey, you can do open houses all day long for me. I don't think it's going to last but a few days or so because you'll probably get bored and you'll have no traffic during the week. And then, hey, come back on the weekends and help me out. Well, I literally was doing open houses 7 days a week, through the week, anywhere from about 4 o'clock until about 7 o'clock, Mondays until Monday to Fridays. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I held it open from 10 until 7, whatever his hours were, whenever the neighborhood was open. And I literally did that 7 days a week until I had to start doing it 6 days a week, then 5 days a week, then 4 days a week, then 3 days a week, and then just to the weekends. Because I got so much business from doing open houses 7 days a week, I had to show buyers in the evenings,
Yep.
The houses. And so that's how I really got my real estate business off the ground. Met a lot of great clients, and that's how I did $3.2 million in production my first year without buying a lead, all from open houses, free leads.
Pat, you know what I love about that story is I hear all the time, like, oh, I'm going to be the next Pat Hayes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, it's like people don't realize the grind that you put in.
Yeah.
They just see you up here and going, oh, I want that. And it's like, dude, you have no idea the time that he put in and the effort that he put in from day one. It's just, it's inspiring.
Absolutely.
Well, very
thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love open houses, and I still do open houses to this day.
I saw that you did one down in Port Aransas, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Robert Beakey, he's a eXp agent in San Antonio. Him and his team just flipped a house down here in Rockport on the water, on the canal. Beautiful house, $2 million house on the water. And it's vacant and available. And so he said, hey, man, can you help me market and do open houses? I said, absolutely. Well, I've done, I think 4 or 5 open houses now. Actually, no, 4 open houses now. And I think I've generated almost $3.5 million in buyer and seller leads from those open houses. And I've got quite a few interested nosy neighbors, as we call them, that have friends that are looking to move into the neighborhood that could potentially buy his house. So I'm helping him market the house and then also generating buyer and seller leads for myself and for the team, for those clients and for those buyers that walk through the house that are not looking to purchase that house, but they're looking to buy another house in the area.
I love that. That's awesome, man. Congrats on that. Open houses is where it's at. That's kind of where I built. I was so deathly afraid to turn to my band parents and say, hey, you want to buy a house now? I don't know anything, but I'm a realtor now.
Right.
So I just started doing open houses my very first weekend. And, I failed a bunch of times and I figured it out and got better at it. And now I host open house. It's like, man, I'm pretty good at this shit. It's like, I know what to say. I know how to do. Yeah. It's the interaction, and so talk to me about that. What is the thing or two that you love about real estate? I mean, here you are, you don't necessarily need to be doing that, but you enjoy it. What do you enjoy about doing the real estate thing?
I enjoy meeting people and I enjoy helping people. This is for the consumer, for the buyer, for the seller, majority for the buyer, this is the largest purchase of their lifetime, and so a home is going to be the largest purchase. And I want it to be a special moment whenever they find that house, whenever I negotiate the best deal, and then they're able to get the keys handed over to them at closing. And so I just love helping people. I love taking them from meeting them at an open house to figuring out exactly what their wish list is for a house. Setting up a search, getting them over to the lender, getting them pre-approved, and then showing them some houses, and then finding that right house for them. And they know it, and as soon as they know it, I know it, right? It's like I know their wish list, I know exactly the house that they want. Sometimes whenever I see the listing pop up on my email search before it's even sent to them, I know that's the right house. And then whenever they call me, they said, "Hey, I just got you just emailed me a house that I want to go see." I said, "I know it. I thought of you whenever I saw that house. This is the right one. Let's go see it," right? And so it's the experience, it's the experience, and I try and make it a fun experience for them. And some processes, it can be hard. Real estate is hard. Especially whenever we're in a multiple offer situation, and we're losing offers by $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 over asking price and stuff like that. That's hard. That's difficult, and we lose out on their favorite house. And so you just got to get creative. And help them win, and help them experience the best experience that they can get finding their dream house. And so I just love helping people. That's what I do. I'm a giver and I'm a helper.
I love that, dude. That's great stuff, man. And it's evident in your presence, your energy. You are definitely infectious in that way, and that's why you've been so successful. So that's awesome. Hey, think about what do you know now kind of about sales business that you wish you knew when you started? Maybe like a first year realtor that's like, man, I wish I knew this back then. Can you share anything?
Yeah, well, I definitely got a great story.
Yeah.
I always like to say, buyers are liars, and I
Yeah.
love working with buyers. But my first transaction that I ever transacted in real estate took me 6 months to get to the closing table. Let me kind of walk you through the story, because it was a painful story, but I'm glad that I kept in touch, and I'm glad I kept the deal together, because it got squirrely on me several times, and the whole deal could have fallen apart. But I was actually leaving an open house, picking up my open house signs, and I had my real estate badge on, and here comes a buyer rolling up, screeching tires, pulling into the neighborhood, had his windows down, and said, "Hey, are you a realtor?" I said, "I am. I just got done doing an open house. I'm getting ready to leave." He goes, "Can you show me a few houses?" I said, "Sure." Heck, it was first year in the business. Absolutely. I'll work my tail off. Right. And so he said, "Yeah, what do you got?" I said, "I want to see these two houses in the neighborhood. I got these sheets here from Zillow. And, can you schedule a showing?" I said, "Absolutely. Are you working with a realtor?" He said, "No, I'm not." I said, "Well, I'm your realtor." He goes, "All right, let's do this." And I said, are you working with a lender?" He goes, I'm already pre-qualified with this lender." I said, "Okay, great." Well, I, showed him houses. And then he said, "Hey, listen, you know what? Those are houses. Can you meet with my wife tomorrow, and let's set up another search together, and email me some houses with my wife?" And I said, "Absolutely. I'd love to meet your wife." And so they owned a restaurant in San Antonio. So I met them at the restaurant. And, of course, we had a nice lunch, and then we talked about real estate. And so I opened up the search and sent them the search. Well, about a week later, we went out to go see about, 10 or 15 homes or so. And so we saw the first home that we showed them. That was one of their favorite houses.
Yeah.
Well, it was on a Saturday. And of course, there was an open house going on. And so I said, "Hey, if this is this is back in 2014. I said, "Hey, if this is your favorite house, it may be gone by this afternoon or even by tomorrow. For one, they're holding it open. And for two, this meets all of your criteria." And he said, or the wife said, "No, let's go look at the rest of the homes on the list and let's circle back around." I said, "Absolutely, let's do this." Well, being a rookie realtor, I was like, let's go. Let's hop in the truck and let's go. Well, I showed them the rest of the houses. And then we got back to the house on Sunday for a second showing, and it was already under contract. And I said, "I knew it. I had that gut feeling. I knew it." Well, we put an offer on their second favorite house, which I knew that they really didn't like, but they needed to get out of their apartment, and time was against us. And so we made an offer, got it under contract. Well, 5 days before closing, their first house came back on the market.
Wow.
So we had to terminate that contract on their second house, put another contract on their first house, and we got that house under contract. And so their VA loan. And so another 45 days went by. And so almost 6 months, I got my first real estate sale, my first real estate commission And that was the hardest $3,200 I've ever worked my butt off for.
Yeah. I love that because, we see all these huge success stories. And, it's the instant gratification that we live in nowadays. Everybody's getting the real estate
Yeah,
license and they're like, I'm going to make millions right off the bat. And it's like, I've heard Carmen
right.
Bean, it took her 8 months to get her first closing.
Yes.
It took you
Oh,
six
yeah.
months.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I sat down with Mark Chambers like 3 or 4 months in. I'm like, dude, I'm doing this and this and this and this. And like, when am I going to get paid? And it's
Right.
just like,
I
keep
know.
going, keep
I know.
going.
It's tough. But the reason why I always tell that success story is my first clients, they were my first clients. They still to this day, after 10 years of helping them buy that house, still to this day, they refer me business over.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a great story. I love
Yeah.
it. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
So talk to us a little bit about, so you started a team. I do want to touch on that real quick. You were trying to leverage your time, bring on some probably buyer agents and stuff like that and grow. What was your experience like with building a team? Was it worth it? Because I've heard from several different people that, man, it just takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. It sometimes can be a distraction, and sometimes it's not even worth building that team that way, the traditional way.
Yeah. Yeah. In my second year, my brokers at the time, they said, hey, you know what? You did a great first year, 3.2 million, and I was looking to grow. And I was like, well, how do I grow, guys? What do I do? I didn't know what to do. They said, well, you know what? For you to go to the next step in the real estate model, you need to become a team leader and create a team, name a team, and then hire a few buyer's agents. And then you focus on the listings, you focus on the sellers, and then more signs in the yard are going to generate more buyer leads for your buyer's agents. I said, okay, I can do that. So I really focused on sellers. And so I created the Pat Hayes Group my second year, 2015, hired two buyer's agents. And I was just taking listings left after right, just taking listings, right? And so, I would work FISBOs, I would call expireds, I would, do door knocking, I would do, of course, open houses, and sometimes I would get, buyers come through that are looking to upgrade, but they're needing to sell their house that they bought, 4 or 5 years ago because now they have two kids that are looking to get a bigger house, and so I would get that listing. Put a sign in the yard, and then of course help them, with my team to find them the new house. And so I was taking listings after listings after listings, and then that helped me catapult my business into $12.5 million in production my second year with my team. And yes, there's some headaches with the team. I get it. Whenever you're responsible for generating all the leads, and you've got invested interest and financial interest in your team, and you're spending all the money and cutting all the checks and investing in Zillow and Realtor.com at the time, because now I have some money, from my first year. And so, I was investing in them. It's a little frustrating sometimes whenever you're investing so much time and energy into your agents. They don't have any skin in the game, if you will, because, I send them all these leads and they call them once or twice and then don't really follow up or whatnot. But, I was the one that was fronting the $2,000 a month Zillow bill, not them. Right. And so it can get a little frustrating. There's pros and cons, but, we worked very well together. We had a lot of fun. We did a lot of events together. We did a lot of happy hours together, a lot of open houses together. And so that was, that was the experience for me in my second year, was creating my real estate team and hiring two buyers agents, and going from $3.2 million to $12.5 million in production.
Well, cool. So around that time, you did that for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you heard about this little brokerage called eXp. When you first heard of it, how long did it take you to realize what it was, and you go, I think I need to jump in on this?
Yeah. So a funny story. So December of 2015, finishing my second year in real estate, I get a phone call from Scott Lewis. He was another local realtor team leader in San Antonio at the time. He was currently with eXp. Had been there for a month, but before that, he was with Keller Williams for 3 years. And then before that, him and his wife, or his ex-wife, Tracy Lewis, they owned Century 21 franchise in San Antonio, one of the largest ones. And so never heard of him, but he gave me a phone call and he said, hey, Pat, I understand that you're coming off your second year. Looks like you had a banger year, 12.5 million in production. Congratulations. Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about eXp. And I was like, wait, is this a recruiting call? No. I'm super happy. I just got done with my second year. I'm happy. No thanks. I'm getting dialed in for my third year, and we're going to crush, and we got some big goals. Well, so he called me and I said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. Let's talk. I'd never met you because I've never done a deal with you or your wife. Hey, let's at least grab some coffee in January. Well, some things happened at that time with my old brokers, and I needed to make a move anyways. And so he had called me at the right time, and so I ended up calling him back and saying, "Hey, you know what? You had called me 4 o'clock today. Well, some things happened with my brokers, and I need to make a move. And so I would like to take you up on hearing a little bit more about eXp." And he goes, "Hey, great. Thanks for calling back. Hopefully everything's okay. But maybe this was the right time for both of us to connect and get together and not wait until January." I said, "I think so." He said, "Hey, why don't you come to the coffee shop tomorrow? I'm going to have two other gentlemen there, and they want to meet you. And let's have a sit down meeting and talk a little bit more about your business and about how we can help you grow with the eXp Realty model." I said, "Sure. You know what? Hey," I said, "Hey, can I bring my dad? My dad's the CFO of my real estate business." And he said, "Absolutely, bring your dad." And so my dad and I went there. We had a 10 o'clock appointment, and that 10 o'clock meeting lasted for about 3 or 4 hours. And I ended up meeting Scott Lewis and two other gentlemen by the name of Rob Flick and Gene Frederick, both legends in the real estate industry. Never heard of them, never didn't know anything about them, but I heard their story, heard all three of their stories, and I was just blown away with the opportunity. And 4 hours later, I was ready to join eXp and hang my hat with eXp. And so I found out the model, I saw the model, I heard their stories, and I said, "Man, this is a no-brainer. I'm ready to go, and let's do this." And so, fast forward, looking back, I've been with eXp now for 7 years. It was probably the best decision I've ever made in my whole entire life. And so, especially with my real estate business as well, and then also for some of my team leaders, I needed to make a move, and I needed to move my team somewhere. I didn't know if I was going to Keller Williams or Century 21 or Coldwell Banker or Remax. I really didn't know where I was going, and I'm so glad and so fortunate that I got that life-changing phone call from Scott Lewis to hear about eXp, because I not only needed to take care of myself and my family, but I needed to take care of my team and their families. And so I'm so glad that I made that decision, because I'm forever grateful that it's changed my life, and I know it's changed a lot of other agents' lives that came with me from my team, and then also from my other brokerage firm as well too. So hand in hand, man, it was a great decision.
So you were literally recruited by a cold call, is what I'm hearing.
That's it.
Pretty much, you didn't know him. He didn't really know you. You hadn't done any deals.
No, I was at the top of a list of a up-and-comers list coming out of real estate second year, and I was at the top of the list, and he just picked up the phone and called me, and here we are 7 years later.
I need to start calling more agents, and who knows, the next Pat Hayes is out there.
I know. They always say one agent, one phone call can change your life, and so that phone call changed his life and also changed my life as well too.
Yeah, I mean, I always hear that one phrase. You're one phone call away from changing your life. And then this is life-changing. Those are like two phrases that I think about when I think about you. That's a pretty cool story. So yeah, you saw it pretty quickly. What was your first year like at eXp? So you joined 2015, I think you said.
Yep, 2015.
And then, so what was that first year? Did you jump into agent attraction?
Yeah. So 2016, it was fun, but yet, it was rough because, making a changeover, new brokerage firm, new tools, new systems, kind of taking a step back to go 100 steps forwards. And so, I still crushed it. I think that year we did about, as a team, we did like around $10 million a year in production. I still had to keep my real estate sales up, but also I could focus on the agent attraction side, which I found very attractive because I was already doing that at the boutique brokerage firm. I helped them get their brokerage firm in their office to 65 agents in 2 years. I was their first agent. I helped them grow to 65 agents, and all they gave me was Starbucks gift cards. And so I saw the revenue share model at eXp, and I said, "Hey, I can keep on doing what I'm doing, but yet not get paid on Starbucks gift cards. I can get paid revenue share, right?" And so my first year at eXp, I think I made $27,000 in revenue share, but still maintained about $10 million in production with my team, right? So I still had to focus on production because, I had to pay the bills. I had to keep the lights on, but yet I could still put a little bit of time in the weekends and the evenings to talk to some agents about why I made the move and who eXp was, right? And so that first year, catapulted me to, kind of started to grow. And so I think I brought over, personally, about maybe 15 or 20 agents my first year. And then, that gave me about $27,000 in revenue share. And then it just kind of kept on growing. And it's like I was working 2 full-time jobs for a few years, right? Scott Lewis said, "Hey, man, how bad do you want it?" And I said, "Man, I want it really bad. I love production and I love real estate, but I love passive income as well too. And I want to, definitely start growing a team as well alongside of growing my real estate business, right? And so it's like I had two full-time jobs for about 2 or 3 years because I focused on production and I had to focus on agent attraction, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I would say so. So that's very cool. Just jotted down a few notes there.
Yep.
So let's talk about the model. Let's get into it. If you are meeting an agent, by now everybody's heard of eXp. When you were pitching
Right. Oh,
it,
yeah.
people are like, "What the hell is that?" So
Oh, yeah.
everybody knows what eXp is, but they think they know. They don't really know it until they've seen it or heard it for themselves. So, what is your elevator speech to those people?
Yeah, like I said, back whenever I first got into EXP in 2015, no one really ever heard about it, So I was like, hey, have you heard of EXP Realty? And they're like, who? And now they're like, oh yeah, I've heard about EXP. Okay, you've heard about it, but have you actually seen the video? Have you seen the model, right? And so, I always say, it's 99% visual. I'll give them a little bit of, nuggets, whatever. Hey, listen, we've got some amazing training. 80 hours of free live training. We've got great mentor programs for new agents. We've got revenue share for building that passive income, for helping grow the business, for helping grow the company that we're shareholders of. And then also, hey, we're owners. We're agent owners. We get equity awards. We get stock for being a successful agent, for attracting agents, for capping every year, for iconing, for being a successful realtor. And so I kind of dangle the carrots in front of them, and then I say, hey, listen, if I could send over a short video, would you watch it and give me your feedback? And they said, yeah, sure, absolutely, send over the video. And so that's kind of the process that I take. I used to throw up on the agents and, oh my God, we've got revenue share, we've got stock, we've got KV Corp, we've got training, we've got, eXp World, we're an avatar, you got to check it out. Oh my God, right? And so the agents were like, whoa, 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 oh my God, but I was so excited because I had never seen anything like this, right? And so Gene Frederick said, hey, listen, slow down to go fast, slow down to go fast. And so he says it's 99% visual, talk to them a little bit about their business, get to know them, build that relationship, tell them a little bit about, hey, we've got some revenue share. Hey, we've got some stock. We've got some legion systems. We've got, some training. We've got some amazing leadership that can help you as well too. And so, I think with your problems, I think eXp can solve it with everything that eXp has to offer. Why don't you watch the video, be my special guest and watch the video, give me your honest feedback, and then let's connect, right? And so that's kind of the process that I tell them though. But man, eXp is amazing, and it's getting more and more amazing every single day with more and more things that they're bringing into the company to help us scale it.
Yeah, man. So my first year, Alan brought me in, and Alan is one of your personals, I believe, and he put me under a couple people, but he was of course talking about rev share, and I was going to your stuff, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great, but I don't know a damn thing. I haven't even sold a house. I don't know any agents. I don't know anything. So my first year was just figuring out sales, right? And I luckily capped my first year barely. Right at the end, I was like, oh yeah, I capped. All right, and then
hey, that's great though, man. That's congratulations to you, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Most agents don't do that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And luckily, it's growing every single year, right? But all of a sudden, I naturally brought on 7 agents, and I didn't even go after them. These were friends of mine that were like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing real estate. Okay, come on board." And now that I'm getting more actively involved in talking to agents and meeting agents, this company just amazes me when I sit down and compare. I met with a Coldwell Banker, agent. I'm just like, what? It doesn't even compare. And so I guess my frustration is, I invite these agents. I have a list of agents. I invite them to events. I invite them into events. I invite them to a Zoom call. I invite them and sometimes they come. Most of the time they don't. And can you talk a little bit about? It's a long game, is what I'm figuring out. It's very rarely does somebody come over in the first 3 hours like Pat Hayes did.
Right, that's true. Yeah, and great question there. Yes, this is a big change. It's changing agents. Whole entire business. And so it takes some time. But I always tell the agents, hey, listen, I know change is hard. Change is hard for everybody, right? We've got to take one step back, to go 100 steps forwards. But I always tell them, hey, listen, I had to do it. And if I can do it, you can do it, and I'll do it with you. Right. Yes, the first thing that agents think about whenever you're talking about switching brokerage firms is, oh my gosh, I've got to get rid of, all my KW stuff, all my Remax stuff, all my Caldwell Banker stuff, all my hats and shirts and business cards and business signs and car magnets and everything and email addresses and websites, right?
Yeah.
And I said, hey, listen, you know what? Yes, you do. But I've got a team that can help you do that. I'm here to help you do that. I've helped other agents do that. I've helped other team leaders do that, right? And so it takes some time to do that. But once you do it, trust me, it'll be worth it, right? It'll be worth it, right? And it takes some time. Most agents aren't ready to go. Some agents, it all depends on some of their pain points where they're currently at. If they're unhappy with their brokerage firm, or if they're unhappy with their production or whatever it is, right? And then I show them how with eXp we can help them out with production. We can help them out with a lot of their issues and help them become a better agent and make more money, right? And so it takes some time. Agents don't move right, on the first phone call or the second phone call or the 10th phone call or the first meeting or the second meeting or the third meeting. They like to evaluate it. They like to go do their due diligence and watch the videos and watch the YouTube videos and Google us and come to events. Events are great. Big decisions are made at big events, and so events are great. I love the events. It all depends on the agent though. But you've got to hold their hand during this process because it's a very delicate process, especially with team leaders and brokers. The newer agents, if they've never joined a brokerage firm and they don't have any bad habits or they've never, joined anything, hey, come on over to eXp and hey, let's get you started. That's a win-win because, they've never been at a different brokerage firm and they don't have to make a transition over or switch anything out. So that's a win-win. But, speaking to a team leader or even a broker with a lot of agents, it's hard to get past that ego. It's hard to show them and really tell them that they're making the best decision if they do bring their team over, or their brokerage firm over, because their business is going to catapult and is going to explode. I love to hear the success stories after 90 days, 120 days, 1 year, even 2 years. Sometimes I still get phone calls from agents. I mean, heck, even Alan sent me a text message the other day saying, "Hey, man, thanks so much for staying on me." It took me a year to get Alan over to eXp from Keller Williams. A year, and I know, and he's still forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I stayed on him, and he's still forever grateful, and he sends me messages. Hey, man, I'm kind of going through a little struggle right now, and I lost a sale or I lost an agent, but thanks so much for everything that you've given me and my family, and it was the best decision I've ever made. You were right. I doubted you, but you were right. Several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, whenever you were talking to me, right? And so it just takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of convincing, and you just got to kind of pave the path for them and show them that they will be making the best decision for themselves and for their team and for their business and for their family.
Yeah, no, for sure. And definitely stay at it. And I'm learning that, day by day, week by week. But, I like to describe the 3 lanes that we represent. Everybody has lane 1. Everybody has all of the technology, all of the things. I mean, some obviously have less than we do. But I am dumbfounded when I talk to different agents and they go, well, I have this and I have that and I have this and I have that. And it's like, yep, we have that too. Yep, we have that too. Oh, we're actually better there. Okay, maybe you got us a little bit there, but we still got you over here. But then you get to lane 2 and lane 3. Nobody has that. Nobody can compare. And just like, I sitting here, I didn't join for the stock or the rev share. I joined for the 80-20 split because I was a brand new agent. And I was like, that sounds good to me. I didn't even know 100% brokerages existed, right? And of course, all my friends were coming to eXp. But now I'm sitting here going, I've paid 0 money and I have stock that has just built up and been rewarded to me. And now it's vesting because I'm 3 years in. And it's like, I've never owned stock. And now I have stock in this badass company and it's growing. And then now I have rev share that's just coming in. And it's like, holy cow, like that's almost paid for a new car payment, with my rev share every month.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
absolutely. Yep.
Just to, way to put it. Yeah. Just to share it, and it's just like, wow, that's pretty incredible. So I don't want to get too much into it right now. We'll definitely get into like the 3 lanes a little bit more on Thursday's training. I'll do
Sure.
a PowerPoint and all that, and we'll go a little bit deeper in there. So don't miss out on that. Join the Facebook group, The Productive Agent. Check out the Zoom link, and we'll be sharing that and blasting that out. So Pat, that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover today. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about as far as your story or the eXp model?
Man, yeah, it's all about having fun, right? It's all about having fun, helping agents out, right? That's what we are. We're helpers, and we just want to help agents grow their business. We're just like what you said, real estate first, right? Lane one is all about production first, and then comes the reward of the stock, and then comes the reward of the revenue share. It's a lot of fun, man. And I just wanted to say thanks so much for your leadership. Thanks so much for what you guys are doing with helping us all grow and having fun together. I see you guys having fun. I see you guys training. I see you guys out there, and that's what we are, right? We're a company that wants to help the agents out and help them grow their business and help them get to the next level. And once you're at the next level, it's fun. Right. And then you can enjoy the stock, you can enjoy the revenue share and keep on growing that as an agent, as well as growing your real estate business. So, man, eXp is definitely the best brokerage firm out there, in my honest, humble opinion. And I know we're having fun. We're growing like crazy. And man, this is still the garage, right? We're at almost 90,000 agents. I can't wait to see where we're all going to be in the next 5 to 7 to 10 years. Right. Brent Gove always says, hey, in the next probably 7 years, we're going to be 1 million agents strong, doing business in over 44 plus countries. I can't wait until we get there. And I'm a firm believer we all will get there together.
No, absolutely. There's so many people that talk about like, oh, well, I got in too late, dude. Like there's so many agents that are getting their license brand new, that are going to be rock stars, and it's just
absolutely.
Like, there's so much opportunity out there. It's crazy. It's a mindset of abundance, right?
Exactly. And what Gene Frederick always says, the homes that are going to be sold in the next 4 to 5 years, those agents aren't even licensed yet.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about that, right?
Yeah.
The homes that are going to be sold in the next 4 or 5 years, those rock star agents aren't even licensed yet and in the business. Crazy.
That is so true, man. Hey, I have a few fun questions, kind of off topic.
Yeah.
So, but obviously you stay busy selling real estate and having fun, and doing the attraction thing. What do you like to do for fun outside of work?
Man, I really do. I love the outdoors. I love hunting. I love fishing. I love exercising, going on walks and stuff like that. Have that alone time, that me time to think and, kind of set goals and visualize, the month ahead or the current month or whatnot. Spending time with the kids. Just having fun. Getting together with friends. Barbecuing, pool parties, boat rides. Fun stuff. I love. I love snow skiing. I love the cold. I love, the mountains. I love doing that. Don't do that often, maybe once or twice a year.
Sure.
But I definitely love, fishing. I love offshore fishing. I love, hunting, being around friends and just having fun and making memories.
I love that. Yeah. Enjoy life, right? Because, it's short, and we better enjoy it and soak it up.
Right.
Well,
that's right.
What is some of the best advice that you've ever received, or what is a piece of advice that you'd like to pass on? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, great question. Is man, don't give up and never give up. I'm a firm believer of that, and of course, my dad's always told me that, and also, my good friend and mentor, Scott Lewis. It wasn't easy my first and second year, grinding almost a full-time job, 40, 50 hours a week selling real estate, and then putting in another, 30, 40, 50 hours a week on top of that the same week, doing the agent attraction on the evenings and late nights and on the weekends and, all that good stuff and throughout the day during the work week. And so, I had many of late night phone calls of frustration and kind of blood, sweat, and tears of, is this really going to work? Why am I devoting all this time to talking to these agents? They're putting me off. They're saying no. They're laughing at me. They're hanging up. And he said, man, Pat, if you want it, how bad do you want it? If you want it, don't give up. Trust me, this will pay off. And he was so right. And I didn't give up, and I still haven't given up, and I never will give up, right? There may be some ups and downs and some bumps in the roads. Hey, I get told no all the time. I get hung up on all the time. I get laughed at all the time by other agents saying, hey, EXP, oh, you guys are a bunch of recruiters or whatever. I've had it all thrown at me, right? But that doesn't bother me, right? I've got thick skin, and that makes me more motivated to go out there and make that next phone call, talk to that next agent, recruit that next agent, and help that next agent with their business, so then they can have their success story and they can start sharing with other agents as well too, right? So guys, if you're listening to this, don't ever give up.
I like that. I love you sharing your honest stories, that like, we think of these people like the Pat Hayeses of the world and, all these people that are like idols, and just like that there's struggles along the way, even to this day,
Absolutely.
And it's like, just keep going, learn from it, be better from it, and keep going,
Amen.
What's your favorite restaurant? I think I see you posting up down there in Port Aransas area sometimes, but what's your favorite restaurant?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. I love a good steak. I love a good cold draft beer, and I love a good baked potato. And so still to this day, man, one of my favorite restaurants is Outback Steakhouse. I know that they've only got one left in San Antonio, but whenever I was growing up, they had one up there off of a 281 and kind of a 604 area right there.
Yeah.
Outback, man, and my dad had a plaque on the wall, and we would go there almost at least once, maybe twice a week. And especially whenever I was in high school and in college there, coming in from college or whatever from San Marcos, man, I'd meet my dad there, have a cold beer and a good steak, and on the weekends, after church, whatever, with my mom and my dad and my sister, we would always go there. But I love Outback. And if I ever see an Outback, I honestly, man, I love to go. I love their Caesar salads. I love their steaks. I love their cold draft beer. And it's just a fun place, especially sitting at the bar, watching sports. I just love their atmosphere, and it's always been one of my favorite restaurants, and it always will.
Yeah, it's nostalgic for sure. That's cool, man. What's your go-to beer?
Cold Miller Lite, cold draft Miller Lite.
Miller Lite draft. All right, cool, man. Well, dude, hey, so listeners that are listening here, how can they follow you, social media? How can they get a hold of you? Drop any of that information.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you guys are an eXp agent, of course, you can hit me up on Workplace Chat. If you're a non-eXp agent, you can hit me up on social media on Facebook, Pat Hayes, and then on Instagram at Pat Hayes 3, and then also on LinkedIn, Pat Hayes as well too. And so, hey guys, I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. And, I definitely just wanted to say, Tony, thanks so much for your leadership. Thanks for what you guys are doing. And, thanks for the invite here. Man, I had a lot of fun. And it's just the beginning, baby. Let's get out there and crush it.
Dude, I love it. This is one of my favorite shows so far. Thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to Thursday going even deeper on the model.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait for some Q&A, because I got some Q's for you, and going like, how can we get these people to the next step? So guys, that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the message, or you want to share this message with somebody, send it. Share the show. That really helps us grow. Leave us a review. Give us a rating. That also helps us grow and impact others, because I come from a place of, just like Pat, we just want to help people understand and grow. You can join our private Facebook group at The Productive Agent. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And we thank you for joining us today. Pat, you are amazing as always. Thank you so much. Now let's get out there and go produce.
You bet. Thanks, Tony.
Do you want to know more about eXp Realty? You're one phone call away from changing your life. Give me a call or send me a text to get in contact, and we'll get together with Pat and talk about how eXp is changing the lives of thousands of agents.